What we're going to talk about is another technique to approach that actually keeps your group a little bit more stable. So when should you hold SCA demos? Regular demos should be held throughout the year. Become involved with local community activities. You want to really recruit all year long. Smaller groups of people coming in are a lot easier to assimilate. Consistent recruiting reduces the heavy groups' attendance fluctuations, like we talked about. The other thing that this does is not only does it easier for you to assimilate, but those people that you've attrited typically leave the SCA feeling pretty bad. And as you know, bad news travels a lot farther than good news. And so those people that have felt something negative, they didn't feel like they belong, they feel like they didn't have enough attention, whatever it is, they go out into your community and they badmouth the SCA. So it actually hurts you worse by bringing in too large of people that you can't help or bring into the SCA in a very positive fashion. Next, we're going to talk about what should we be doing at demos. You really need to go back to your group and look at your talents and the resources that you have. Demos will hopefully have fighters, some artisans, archers, dancers. Look at holding a mock tourney. If you're ever have been involved in what we call demo fighting. Demo fighting is a way to make loud noises with lots of flash, so the populace start yelling and the audience gets all excited, but it's not very much fun for the fighters. So by holding a mock tourney, not only do you make it fun for your people, but you actually can explain the process as it's coming along and hopefully educate the audience a little bit more. Arts and science displays. Most people learn in a tactile environment. They want to be able to touch things. They want to be able to learn things. If you can set up something where they can maybe learn how to spin, learn how to do chainmail, something that actually gets them involved, that's the most ideal about the SCA. We encourage group participation. Dancing, performing a play. Actually, I live in a group that's very lucky to actually have a theater group that puts on plays for us. Again, it's something that's very visual and it gets people's attention. Now, to explain how the combat works, we really need to be going over the rules if we can. If it's an environment where we have a lot of time and we can work with it, again, we want to talk about why does that guy go on his legs when he got hit? Why did that guy lose his arm? Who are the guys wearing the red belts? They're squires. Who are the guys wearing white belts? They're knights. What's the difference between melee and tourney? Rapier, combat archery. Again, you're going to have to take a look at your demo, have to look at the time you have allotted, the space you have allotted, but explaining how all these things happen is really easy to get your audience involved. Go out among the crowd, talk about it. What should we be bringing to demos? Again, this is a very visual activity, so heraldry and pageantry, of course, are a must. Banners, medieval pavilions, videos of SCA activities, pictures of past events they went to. And what's very, very important at that demo is that you have a newcomer table. I can't stress this enough, and we're going to talk a little bit more about it in a few minutes, but having a newcomer table with a sign-up sheet for more information is essential. If you don't have any way to contact the people that are interested, why are you having a recruiting demo? So it's really important that you do have a sign-up sheet. Give them something to take home, flyers, kids' coloring pages. I even had it suggested to me about an event coupon. If you set up a demo right before one of your events, it'd be real easy to actually have a free coupon for them to get into the next event. It's a great way to talk about the SCA, talk about your group and the activities they're having, and maybe bring people in and maybe catch them to stay longer. If you do a kids' coloring page or any other type of flyer, it is essential that you have information on where to get contacted. Now maybe these people go home and your flyer just ends up in file 13, but maybe the kids go home and they put that up on the refrigerator, and weeks or months down the road they think, hey, that was pretty cool, I'd love to get back in touch with those people. Make sure you have information on that piece of paper. So we talked about earlier that the right kind of demo could bring you new members. Well, the wrong kind of demo can give you a bad name in the community, and I think we see why. It's very important that the public relations that you're giving and the people that you're interacting with in the community leave feeling good about the SCA. Next, I'd like to talk about networking. Your current members are the most powerful recruitment force that you have. The active SCA members that you have in your group have decided to join the SCA and have chosen to play. These members are the best testament to our organization and should be actively recruiting new members. If each member of your group brings in one new person, you've doubled the size of your group. So after watching this video and you go back to your group and say, hey, we really like to recruit, and you get a lot of people that say, oh, I don't know how we're going to bring in 10 or 15 people to revitalize our group. Start small. Take baby steps. Say, well, let's just have one. Can you bring one new person? If you're in a member, 6 groups or 6 people in a group, and you bring in one person, you've got 12. 12 group, you got 24. It's very easy to double the size with everybody's working together to just bring one person in. Let's talk about where else you can network. Partnering with your community is very important. Local schools, churches, city organizations, festivals, or libraries. People are going to make the assumption about your organization based on your affiliations. The community groups that you partner with can be credible sources for you. Each member of your group should consider themselves as an SCA ambassador to the modern society. That's a little bit different thinking than we've had in the past. We don't think about that when we go out and we talk about the SCA, that we're actually a public relations representative of the SCA. But it's very true. I've got to brag on one of my squires now. One of my squires actually is a museum curator here in where I live, and he actually was able to get in with one of the library systems that was promoting one of the Book of Kells. By doing a simple demo and working with that library system, we have now done an entire series of demos that have brought us in a lot of people and given us a lot of good PR. I just recently had rotator cuff surgery, and I went in to have a physical therapy appointment, and right off the bat the physical therapy said, oh, you're the guy at the library. They actually had set up our demo that we had done for them on video and allowed people to check it out at the library. They then put it on the local cable television station for a lot of people to see. So from there, they actually then even set up full-size posters of us all over the library. So people out in our community were now recognizing us. And that library provided us a credible source with the community. So that people now looking at us say, oh, well, they've partnered with the Centerville Library Systems. Hey, they must be pretty good people. And we've gotten a lot of recruitment. So just that one little thing spurred all this public relations. It can be a fantastic system if you're partnering with your community, and it's very powerful. Again, I have to throw in a little disclaimer that if you do have questions about the SCA media policy, you need to consult www.sca.org. Again, you're working with the public, you're working with reporters, you're working with the community. You want to make sure that you're following our media policy.